So to continue on from the last video, I'm just going to re-establish the fact that obviously I wanted to create this idea of past and present with black and white and normal color, because obviously that's what it creates by doing that. And this idea of there's only actually two scenes with black and white, so these two scenes, and I did this on purpose because I didn't want the whole black and white theme to run through the whole trailer, because I knew that it wasn't actually the main part of it. But I wanted the audience to maybe sort of create their own ideas about what it could mean. So obviously they could think that that was actually Katie and that was her in the past, and if she's always had this element of witchcraft within her, maybe an evil sort of sinister side to her. And on the other hand, they may actually realize that it's someone else, and maybe that's an underlying memory or a past that leads to her being the way that she is, and maybe that's why she is the way that she is. But from my audience research of phobias, which is where there's a link to the phobia blog below, I found out that my target audience held specific views towards phobias. Males didn't tend to have many specific fears, but females had quite a few actually. Yeah, this is it. So obviously this is generally what they were saying. None tends to be the males. This is all females usually, but dark and insects were one of them. They were quite, but because it was actually quite a small scale conducted research, my results weren't definitive, but I used other research from other sources, and generally I found that females actually do tend to watch horrors more, which I found quite interesting, and obviously that led to me to believe that maybe some element of phobias. So I chose the dark because I thought that was quite a distinctive one to choose, which should be present in the film, in the actual trailer. Although from this I decided to bring in an element of fire as well, and as darkness is a common fear, it's because of what's within the darkness and the actual entity itself, and many people hold that fear, so that's why I chose darkness. And with fire, obviously there's fear towards the fact that it's real, it's reality, and darkness actually, you can't really hide from it. It happens, it comes at night. And a lot of horrors actually use the element of darkness to promote fear in the audience, which can be seen in Don't Be Afraid of the Dark trailer and the Paranormal Activity trailer. I used more elements from the first trailer of the Don't Be Afraid of the Dark rather than Paranormal Activity, because it was a newer trailer that had ever-increasing views on YouTube. And with the audience response being very important, I looked into why this trailer was getting more views. Don't Be Afraid of the Dark trailer has now got 3 million views, and last time I saw it, it was about 1 million. And so obviously it's ever-increasing. People's responses, they tend to be different. Obviously there's 6,000 likes and 659 dislikes, so I don't know. It depends on who you are, and depends on what you want to see and what you have seen. People change their minds, and obviously from my friends' responses, a couple of them liked it. This particular friend here, she didn't particularly like most of the trailer, except from when it got to the end, when it got quite intense and it got quite jumpy. But then some of my other friends did, and generally, I mean, my family did find it quite scary. So it depends on who you are, I guess. These particular Facebook responses, I actually posted a post to see what people would think of the trailer, and these particular responses for example, from Tobias Hawthorne, which is the first one. He claimed that the silence really heightens the experience, and I used that idea of the silence and took it in the sense of the combination of the black screen and the lack of the musical soundtrack. And Scott Thatcher's response made it more clear for me to use a sinister voice to further the idea of to combine it with complete silence. So it therefore formed the first sequence for me, with the idea of no musical soundtrack to begin with, and the use of voiceover to captivate the audience. To justify my choice further, I decided to use Todorov's narrative structure of equilibrium to disequilibrium to renew restored equilibrium, which meant starting the trailer with a calmer setting and then leading it into a tenser situation. Its tends to be the same for most trailers, and obviously that led it into fire, because obviously that was one of my fears that I was gonna hold, and then leads into this, which is obviously the character Katie slitting her throat, which is obviously an unnerving situation. You don't feel very calm in it. This is a moment of when it actually does peak. I'll continue in the next video.